Hello, everybody, and welcome to my coloring corner. Hope everybody has had a wonderful week and is enjoying the start of your weekend. And of course, my phone just told me that I'm going live right now. So, when I start having some people come in, I will explain what we're going to do today, and then we will move on to the picture and start coloring. Until then, I will just straighten things up and get things ready for you. And drink my coffee. Of course, it's Saturday morning, so I got to sleep in a little bit this morning, and now we've got coffee and we've got coloring and we've got all sorts of cool stuff starting up. Well, it doesn't seem like anybody's going to join me quite yet, so I will explain what we're going to do and they can watch it backwards. So what we're going to do today is we're going to color in this wonderful book. It's The Colorful Seasons, and it is done by Color It. And they have different artists that they contract out to draw their books. The one thing I love about the Color It books is they're a nice heavy board cover. They have the rings up at the top, so it's not a bound book. It's bound with the rings, and the pages, let's see, so these are just explanation pages, stuff like that, blotter pages, stuff to make sure that your markers and that aren't going to go through. But the pages themselves, they're quite thick. They're a medium cardstock, and they're very smooth, so they work beautifully for markers. They do still seep through. Of course, you still get bleed, but not as bad as you normally would with other coloring book paper. Another one of my absolutely favorite things about these books is the pages are perforated. So when you take a page out, it's nice and clean. You don't have to have the little jagged at the top or anything like that. And this book has all the different seasons in it, from fall to winter, spring and summer, as well as different holidays, like the 4th of July, New Year's, different things like that. So that's the book we're going to be coloring in. Hi, Barb. Thank you for coming in. The picture that we're going to color is this picture, which I thought was an absolutely fantastic picture for the upcoming holiday. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and I have taped down a piece of cardstock onto my board so that I don't get a lot of bleed through on my board and have to clean it, because I really don't like doing that. But what we're going to use today is we're going to use, let's see if I can bring them over without knocking them down. My husband has printed me three more things of this, so I've almost got my entire set of Cali Art 100 brush markers in them. So that is what we will be using today. The thing I like about the Cali Art brush markers, of course, is the fact that they are a lovely brush. They have this lovely brush, which you can get into good tight corners, as well as the chisel, so that you can do large areas. So wonderful, wonderful markers, and that's what we're going to use today. And then we're going to use, on top of those lovely markers, some wonderful colored pencils. These are Sharper Fabian colored pencils. This is the 96 set. So if I yell out some colors that you don't have, then I'm sorry, because the 72 set doesn't have all the same colors. So, hi, Ellen. Thanks for coming in. Oh, sorry about that. I have things buzzing me. Crazy. All right. So, we're going to color this picture today. This, like I said, this picture for everybody that's just coming in is out of Colorful Seasons Color It. We're going to do a multi-medium today with the markers as well as the colored pencils. And we have a couple of different shout outs, well, one shout out especially that I'm going to yell out if she ever comes in to visit. It's a friend of mine's birthday today, so if I see her come in, I think she's just going to sneak in and not say anything, so I don't tell everybody it's her birthday, which is very, very possible. Now, I need to not be silly with this and actually take out my swatch charts, because I never know what colors are what. I think it looks like it's a yellow and it turns out to be an orange. All right, so let's pull out the swatch chart for our markers, first of all. And then we'll go from there. There we go, Cali Art Brush Markers. So the first one I want is Sunflower, because we've got sunflowers. So I'm gonna give this a test and see how easy it is to find my pens in these new marker stands. Hi, Penny. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Penny. Happy birthday to you. Haha. That's the only time you will ever hear me sing. And I will apologize profusely for that. But I had to do it. So I'm just going to go over the sunflowers with this sunflower yellow. Now, of course, you know, markers, when you lay them down, they look a lot darker than they will dry. So make sure you don't sit there going, oh, that is not the color I want, and then change your color up, because it will look right once it is dry. And I don't have a moderator with me today, so if I don't catch you in chat, I am sorry. I will try to make sure that I'm not ignoring chat. I'm seriously not ignoring you. It's I get concentrated on what I'm doing, and the next thing I know, somebody's saying something to me and I'm missing it. So I hope everybody had a wonderful week, and I did pretty good this week. I got a couple of different work in progresses finished, so that was good. And it has been cold, wet, and rainy here, so of course my body has decided it doesn't like cold, wet, and rainy. So I'm just going around this sunflower with this sunflower yellow. And when it dries, I'm going to actually be adding some bits of a colored pencil to it, just to give it some shadows and some highlights and that sort of thing. And as you can see with these brush tip markers, it gets right in a very, very small areas without bleeding out. I'm going to switch you over to the other camera. I forgot to switch you. So here's the other camera where you can see the close-up. That's better. There, that's better. Now you can actually see what it looks like, not a far away look of my hand. You're welcome, Penny. So Penny, I'm not sure if you heard, but we're going to use the markers. So any markers you have, and we're going to overlay with the Sharper Faben colored pencils. Alrighty. And of course it is Saturday, so my house does have life, unlike during the week when it's dead silent in here. So if you hear any background noises and whatnot, just know that my house is moving. So my household, not just my house, just the people in it, and my dog. And it's amazing during the week, though. Sometimes it gets so quiet in here. You wouldn't think I even actually lived in a house with other people. Every once in a while you can hear my dog during the week, but she's usually snoring on the couch. Okay, so I know this part is really boring. It's just one color going over the petals of these sunflowers. And of course, with markers, you just got to remember to keep your edges wet so that you don't get lines. Nothing worse than getting lines. And that is with alcohol markers. It's a completely different animal with water-based markers. So if you're running with water-based markers, try to do it in one stroke, because if you go over it too many times, you're going to peel the paper, and unless you're using a watercolor paper, and all sorts of things. There's different videos out there and available of different things that you can add to your paper if you want to prep, hours ahead of time, days ahead of time. I'm not one of those people that can do that. Sometimes the reason why the notifications for Saturday color alongs don't go out really quickly is because I have no idea what we're going to color. Which makes it more difficult for you guys to make sure that you have the picture or have the book. This picture was also, if you are a member of Color It's newsletter, was in one of their Freebie Friday newsletters. So, and I do believe it was in the fall last year. So. How many more of these flowers do we have? I think this one here is the last one. Try not to do what I just did. It is very difficult to blend that line out if you're doing this on a thinner paper that doesn't stay wet for a long period of time, because the marker will dry on thinner paper quicker. From my experience, I can't, it all depends upon how thick your paper is, in my experience, and how much ink is coming out of the pen, of course. If you have a dry pen, it's even shorter period of time. But what happens is it'll dry if you lift your pen for too long, and you'll find that you get streaks. And that's one of the things I really like about the Color It paper and the Color It books, is they're kind of made to color with markers. Coloring with pencils on them sometimes is a little difficult because they're very smooth pages. So I think definitely were created to color with markers, and they have some lovely large spaces too. So this picture is a little bit more intricate, and that's why we're going to use a little bit of both markers and pencil. Hey, Pichet. How you doing, Pete? Are you coloring with us today? Or are you just coming in to say hi? Because I would love to see one of you guys color. Pichet is a part of my husband's 3D printing community. And they come up with all sorts of cool different gizmos, like my marker holders, and the marker holders that I'm using today were done by Geeky Faye, and she is just a doll and so smart when it comes to designing things for 3D printing. Oh, come on. Lefties can color too. I can't color with my left hand, so can you color with your right hand and your left hand, or just your left hand? Okay, so we've got the sunflower yellow down, and don't put your hand on it because, yeah, I just got sunflower yellow on my hand. So we're going to take a darker color, so we need a brown. I think potato brown would be good for that. So where is my potato brown? I knew that was going to happen. My husband hasn't connected all of these marker holders, so it just decided that it was going to go for a slip and slide for me. But that's fine. I'll just put it up this way. There it is. And one thing is that I lose where my markers are. So I'm going to take a bit of the potato brown, and I'm just going to do little areas of the seed, because we know that sunflower seeds are black and white, but when they start out, sometimes they're a little brown. And I just want a little bit of brown in there. And it's not going to matter a whole lot because I'm going to go over it with the black pencil, but it's going to make those areas a little bit darker because they're the shadow areas that I'm putting this brown into. And I think on Wednesday, Work in Progress Wednesday, or Tips and Tricks Tuesday is probably when we're going to start it. I'm going to do a little bit in the darker grayscale pictures, and maybe do a Christmas picture in Ruth Saunders' book, just to show you that grayscale isn't scary. It's actually quite simple if you know what you're looking at. You know, if you've never, like, I was terrified of grayscale for the longest time because it looks so hard, because there was so much dark. So I didn't touch grayscale for a very long time. And now it's just simple to me. It's common sense. So Exactly. You are very right there, Pete. So are you over watching the guys shave Josh's head yet? I guess he's still on his beard, isn't he? Another friend of ours is doing a fundraiser right now. Uh, and if he gets to certain marks in the dollar areas, he's going to shave his beard and shave his head. And if he gets up to $5,000, he even said he would tattoo his friend on his thigh. It's Alien 3D. So I've got the brown down. And I'm going to let that dry for a bit. And I'm going to move on to some of the other leaves and whatnot so that I'm not trying to color over something that's wet. Because if you try to color over something that's wet, what's going to happen is your pencil isn't going to adhere to the paper very well, and it just peels off. And that is no fun. All right, so we're trying to stick with fall colors here. So we're going to use that potato brown again, which is a Y623 in the Cali Art brush pens. And I'm just going to go through and pick out the leaves that look like this and just give it a bit of a center line, because we're going to do those in oranges and yellows and browns. Okay, so I'm just doing a little bit of the potato brown down the center line of those leaves, and I did it up here as well because there's some of those leaves up there as well. Now I've got a few down here, but I'm going to leave those ones alone for the moment, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the yellow and the orange, and it's lightning yellow and orange are the two colors I'm going to use. And I think I'm going to grab rouge orange, red orange as well, rouge orange, which is Y906. We have Y608 and Y107. I'm just going to take the rouge here, and I'm just going to go around the edges. And another thing that I really like about this paper is it doesn't bleed. Like if I go right up against the line, it isn't bleeding past the line, which is really good, because, oh, that is not my tip. Because a lot of papers, you go past the line, like right here I went over that line, so it's going to bleed into that a little bit. And this does look like it's very close to the same color, but once it dries, you will see that it is a different color. And I'm just filling in that leaf with the oranges. There we go. When you're going in between smaller areas, try really hard just to use the very, very tip of your pen and just let that ink touch the paper and spread out, because it will spread out. All right, now we're going to take our yellow, make sure that we have the right tip. And we're going to go over into this orange a little bit and let it spread so that it yellows out some of the orange. The light color will take over with, the light color will take a lot of the dark color and change it quite a bit. If you go over it a bunch of times, it will actually replace it. I don't want it to replace it, I just want it to look like it's a fall leaf that is starting to change color or is finishing changing color. I guess would be the way it would be, because that would be a green if it was starting. Now we're just going to let that dry. And once it dries, hopefully it'll show different spots of yellows and oranges in the leaf. And if we wanted to, we could take our pencil and go over it and add different colors to it as well, and do the edges in, say, a purple or something. I'm just going to take this potato brown and just going to touch up that center line. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of depth. All right. Well, we still have 3 people here, and Pete seems to be the only one talking to me. If you guys have any questions, do remember to ask or pop in a question. If I don't see it right away, I will see it at some point, because I am looking up every now and then to make sure that I don't ignore anybody. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with this leaf over here. We're going to take that dark orange, almost red orange, and we're going to just do the edge. Oh, I just went over the edge, and I don't have my blender pen, so I can't erase it, so we'll leave it. See what happens when you go over the edge? Your leaf gets a little bit bulkier. Went over the edge there too. And this is why I don't use markers a whole lot, because I'm terrible with them. My pencils are so much easier to control. I like the ability to control exactly where the color is going to go and exactly what color it's going to be. One of the reasons why I like to use those. you play that silly game. Well, I thought you were going to come up and color with me, but you can't now, so. Our state, the state Ellen and I are in, is on a 2-week setback, and my county, I don't know about Ellen's, but my county is on a 4-week setback. Wear a mask. All right. So just fill that in. And then we have an orange and yellow leaf. And like I said, as it dries, as you'll be able to see on this one a little bit better because it's closer to being dry, you can see the change in the color going into the yellow from the orange. And I'll put some purples in that on the leaf as well in pencil, which will, yeah, yeah. Well, it's good that it's down there. It's just for 2 weeks, but we're bright red up here, so Marion County is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, I guess. But what I'll do is I'll put some purple on there with the colored pencils and add different fall colors to it. If you go outside and look around, as you know, fall colors are in reds and oranges and yellows and browns, and purples are the main fall colors. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a bit on the sunflowers here. And I'm going to take, I think, maple. No, maple's too close. We're going to take burnt sienna. And we're going to just color in the areas that the lines are. Just to give it a bit of depth in that picture, in that start of that flower. Because sunflowers aren't just yellow. Ellen listens to me and plays her video games and cleans her house. She colors, but she does that, when I'm not live, I guess. Can't wait until the entire thing is just over with. I just wish, sometimes I wish that it would just snow, 12 feet everywhere and block everybody's doors so nobody can get out of their houses just for a month, 2 weeks. Enough time for it to, just settle things down. If it'll just settle things down a little bit, then I'm all for it. I hate snow, but I will live with that if it makes this COVID go away. Somebody would find a way out of their house, though. Ooh, yeah, you should have done that. Isn't that an automatic thing? Mine is done automatically, so. Okay. I think Pete went over to watch Josh's stream, which is perfectly fine. It's their community, so. But they are such a nice bunch of people. Most of them anyway, just like any other community, I guess. All right, so that's what we've done with the flower so far. And it's starting to look like a sunflower now. Yeah, the post office itself is open. I thought it was open later than that, though, but I don't know. I don't usually go to the post office on Saturday. I know we get mail on Saturday, but that's about it. And to me, that's just weird, so. In Canada, we don't get mail on Saturday. All right, so I'm going to actually take the black now. And my black is really short because mine broke. And it took me a lot. There we go. Yes, yes, milk does come in bags in Canada. So I'm just going to cover all of those areas in the center with a bit of black. And as you'll see, the brown will show through a little bit. Of where those sunflower seeds are. And I'm not being too careful to make sure that I cover each and every seed 100% because sunflower seeds are black and white. So I am leaving a bit of white on them. And once your ink dries, and it doesn't take very long for alcohol ink to dry, depending upon your paper, of course, if you have really, really toothy paper, you may find that you have a lot of white spot. This paper from the Color It books is very smooth, so there isn't a lot of white spot even with using colored pencil. But that also depends upon what pencil you use. So if you're using, say, I think Crayola was pretty bad. A really heavily waxed pencil, you may find that you have some issues with wax bloom. We're not weirdos. It goes in a jug. It's not like we, hold the bag out and, pour it into the into the cereal bowl. So with that one there, I think it's pretty much done. What do you guys think? Should I add another color to it, or the two people that are in here? I don't know why. Okay. Well, nobody's going to answer, so I'm just going to leave it and move on to the next one. And this will probably be one of those work in progress things that we do take a look at on Wednesday and hang out, and hopefully this time we'll be able to do it a live stream. Last time, as soon as I was about to go live, of course, the internet or the YouTube decided that it didn't want to go live anymore. And I wasn't able to put up a live stream, so I recorded it. And of course, it allowed me to upload a recording. Now, if I go silent, don't mind me. It's just me concentrating on what I'm doing. I'm getting better with that, mind you. I have started learning how to talk to myself with doing these videos without just doing it in my head, because sometimes I do. All right. So we're just going around with that sienna brown and giving those shadows and and center veins of the petals some color. so that they're not the same color as all, so that they're not all just one color, because no flower is just one color. It may look it, but it's not. All right. Somebody told me at one point that I make things too complex. That, it should just be, with grayscale and stuff like that, you should just be able to just use one color on it and it already has the shadows there. So, but that's not the way I color grayscale. I know the shadows are already there, the shading's already there in dark, but it looks a lot better if you color that shading in the dark color that you want it to be, instead of just relying on your light color. Hi, Tracy. You're not late. Well, a little bit, but there's always a recording. But, with grayscale, I find that if you color the darkest areas in your darkest shade of the color you want that to be, it actually shows a lot better than just going over it with one color. And I'll be, like I said, I'll do a tips and tricks Tuesday coming up on coloring the dark grayscale of some of the Christmas books that I just got, so that I can show you what I mean. And there is yet another lovely, lovely flower done. Are you guys getting your notifications for when videos are going out or live streams are going up? I had somebody tell me the other day that she's not getting any of her notifications. Nobody? Okay. Thank you, Tracy. Well, I'm glad that they're sending out some of them at least. All right. Now, it does look a little bit messy, which is driving me crazy because I'm a perfectionist. But I know I want that white spot in there. And my first instinct right now is to grab my blending pencil and just blend all that white spot out. But that is the look that I want this to have, because like I said, this is a sunflower seed. Sunflower seeds have a bit of brown, they have a bit of black, and they have a little bit of white. So I'm using the white of the paper to give me that white. But I'm really trying hard not to let my OCD and perfectionism take over and fill that in. So how many of you are sitting there going, fill it in, fill it in? It does drive me crazy. And I could go back through this with a gel pen and put the white in it myself. And I probably will on some of them that I've put too much color on. But it's driving me crazy. And when it's done, you'll see why I did it, but my OCD says that is not colored all the way. Yeah, I know you do, Tracy. But it's the same as I did with these ones, but because they're smaller, you're not seeing as much as the white come through. And this one is a bit bigger, so you're seeing a little bit more of that white come through. So we're going to take this brown, and we're just going to go over some of the tips. And we're going to do the center area here, because these are those little tiny baby ones that are not quite developed yet, that are coming out of the center. And then we've got our center. And it looks like it's supposed to. It just, when I'm doing it, I know that it's going to look fine when it's done. But you're leaving white spot. All right, so we've got one more, I think. Yeah, one more to do for the center and the edges of this flower. Oh, I didn't do the edges of that flower. Picked up the brown and didn't do it. That one I did a little bit more of because it's hidden behind things, so it's going to look a little darker. And Tracy, I know you just came in a little while ago, but we're using the Sharper Fabian colored pencils over top of the Castle Art, or not Castle Art, the Cali Art brush tip markers. And I like the Sharper Fabians because they are an oil base, so they blend really well into the marker. It doesn't leave a lot of really hard lines. It's such a soft pencil, but it's hard enough to overcome any paper issues. I'm using Color It's paper. This is out of the Seasons, the Colorful Seasons book from Color It. Well, if you don't have markers, Tracy, most definitely you can still do this with just pencil. I know you can because I have seen you do it. I just wanted to do it as easily as I could. and show people that it can be done if you have the right tools. And of course, it can be done with any pencils and any markers. It's just sometimes, depending upon your paper and depending upon if you let it dry or not, on whether or not you're going to get a good adhesion of your pencil to the markered paper. I thought you had some markers, Tracy. Markers used to intimidate me because everything I saw was, like when I first started coloring, was the water-based markers. And those streaks terrified me. I just couldn't deal with the streaky look that water-based markers have when you color with them, because if you don't do it all in one stroke, you're going to get a streak. And with alcohol markers, you have a little bit more forgiveness, because if you go back and you make the line wet with an alcohol marker, you can erase that line. Can't do that with a water-based marker, from what I can tell. But that's just me. You know, I personally can't do it with a water-based marker. Ah, okay. And the fine liners, I can't use fine liners. Fine liners scare me. But I also don't do, well, I do some really small, intricate things, but most fine liners are a water base, and I end up trying to adjust the color too much and ending up with a mess. All right, so because I forgot to do that one, now I'm going to move on to the lines of this second one here, and we'll finish him up. And I'm still working on that book that I'm doing for that neighbor's Christmas present. So I've got to get that done sometime within the next month, I guess. I think I've got 12 more pages, no, 8 more pages to do. 7 or 8 more pages to do in it. I just end up sidetracked. I have so many things going on and I'm always sidetracked. Okay, so we've got a couple of the leaves done and we've got the sunflowers done. The next big thing we're going to do is the hat. And the reason why I want to do the hat is because there's 2 different ways that we can do the hat. We can do it with a black marker, of course, and that's what we're going to do. But there's different areas of the hat that are going to be a little bit darker than other areas because, of course, there's light hitting different areas, right? So they've given us where our light lines are going to be. Oh, that is so cool, Tracy. What book are you working on? But on here, there's different lines. They've added different lines to show you where the light is going to be hitting. So the light is coming down from here. It's going to hit here and it's going to hit the brim. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually trick our marker with a colored pencil. And what colored pencil I want to use, of course, is a wax base, a heavy wax base. So I'm just trying to find the white in this cheapo set of colored pencils that I bought from U-Buy. And they're a nice pencil. They're just very, very inexpensive. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color in quite heavily over top of that line where I want that light to be hitting. And the reason why I do this is because marker will still penetrate that area, but it won't show as dark, if that makes sense. So we're going to make sure that our light spots are highlighted with the white, and then we'll go over it with the marker, and hopefully it'll do what I expect it to do. Sometimes depending upon how much wax is in the pencil, and I'm hoping this is enough wax and not just pigment to kick that marker up. And of course my black marker is not in the bag, so I'll grab a black marker. I'll be right back. All right. And how badly did I wrap myself up here? Just trying to make sure that I haven't drug my headset wire under my chair. Now, I'm going to go over and start on this side. And hopefully it'll do what I want it to do. If not, I will take my blending pen and I will add those white areas in. So what it actually did is it made it glossy in that area, which tells me that that's UV set has a lot more oil in it than wax. Which is fine because the ink is just sitting on top of it. That's why it's still shiny. Now be really careful with these areas. Otherwise you're going to end up coloring your flower black. Like I said, with the alcohol markers, the great thing about them is you just need to touch the paper a little bit with the very, very tip, and it will fill that space in. As long as you don't go over your drawn line, it should just fill the space in for you. In any areas that it doesn't, of course, you can go back and just give it a little touch and it will. A lot of people really enjoy markers because they're quick. You can easily do a simple picture in 20, 30, 40 minutes if you just use one color alcohol marker. I can't color that way even with markers. So. And sometimes I can, like if I really want to color but I don't have a lot of time to color or a lot of patience to color, I just want to get some color on paper, I will gravitate towards the more simpler books I have and grab the markers. And I'll just do a pure marker picture. And it always turns out lovely. It's just one of those things that sometimes I find that you still get enough of a relaxation making something pretty. A stress reliever, I guess, to just make something pretty. I have seen some people that just do absolutely fantastic work with markers and blending them and everything else, and they make it look so simple. Yeah, and most times that's exactly it. I need to be able to just slowly build things and make it there. But somebody asked me to do a video on mixed media, and I figured what better than to do it live on a Saturday color along. And that way you guys can tell me what you think and how you deal with certain situations that come up with markers if you use them. And I can answer any questions of, different things that you find are coming up with markers that you don't like or that is bothering you that I can possibly help with. Now, for this large area here, what I should have done is I should have used my chisel because it covers a larger area without possibly adding line. But I'm trying to keep it as wet as I can on the edge to avoid that line. Another thing that I find is if you're flipping back and forth between your chisel and your nib or your brush area, I do it a lot with nibbed pens, is if you don't have the pens ready, if you don't have the lids off already, and you get to a point where you're going to want to have that yeah, I like I said, I prefer my pencils, but there are days where just coloring with a marker is so much easier and so much more satisfying just because it is quick and it's pretty. So what I've done is I've taken my blending pen and I've gone over that area where I had the colored pencil, and I have brought that light source back. Now I can go back over that with my colored pencil and make that white. It's not going to be stark white, but it's going to put that light source back in there. And the way that I knew where to do that is because if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there you go. See that shine there? Let's see if I can get it to show you again. There you go. See where that shine is? That is where the colored pencil is that I've gone over top of. And that shine is just showing me that area is still a little bit wet. And it shows me where that colored pencil is. So if I take my pen here, I can erase the marker that's sitting over top of that colored pencil. Just like that. Try to make sure that you clean your pen so that you're not putting that black back on to anywhere else. So, and that's how I do that. And I don't clean this pen a lot because I don't use it a lot. This is the Prisma's colorless blender. And I have to get a new nib for it, so that's why I don't use it very much. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do the under area there. And we're going to do that in a gray. Not that one. Of course, I completely didn't think of blacks and grays. I don't know why, with a great big huge hat there that's going to be black and gray. And I left my blacks and grays over here. So yes, that's the one I want. And I have wrapped my cord all the way around the wheels of my chair. So hopefully I don't disconnect y'all. All right, so we're going to do the under area here in a dark gray because we want it to be dark, almost a black color, but we want it to be different than the black color above so that it shows that it's a different part of that hat. And if you want to, you can lighten that up a bit just by going over it with a lighter color than the black. And it'll wash that black out a little bit. Okay. And can't tell if that's another part of the hat. I think it is. So I'm just going to color it in this gray. Out to the edge of the bow here. No, I don't. I'm terrible with pre-planning. Sometimes I'll think, okay, I want it to be fall colors, so I'll grab all my fall colors. But Other than that, I'm really bad with pre-planning. All right. Okay, so that is our hat. Now I'm just going to take this black and I'm actually going to fill in where this line is. I'm just going to highlight this line a little bit better because it's a line that shows where the brim of the hat ends and the inside of the hat starts. I think, anyway. Okay, so that is as far as we've gotten today, and I think that's where we're going to call it, because we have been doing this for over an hour. And I would like to know if anybody has any questions, because I haven't been watching chat the best way possible. If you guys have any questions or anything that you want me to show you how to do on this picture or on any other pictures, anything that you want to see done on Tips and Tricks Tuesday or Saturday Color Along. And of course, we always continue the Saturday Color Along on Work in Progress Wednesday. And as you probably have noticed, I did put up a notification of it, is I have my schedule all sorted out for you guys. We have Collection Mania Monday. That is the lovely day that you guys get to see the different colored pencils in my wonderful collection. And then we have Tips and Tricks Tuesday, which I will go through and do different things that I've learned along the way on how to, like, for example, this trick here of making sure that I can see where those lines are underneath a black, because once you go over a black line with a black pen, it's really hard to see where that is. Also, we have Thankful Thursdays, and Thankful Thursdays will only happen if I have some happy mail come in. And then we've got Flips and Fun Stuff Friday. Flips and Fun Stuff Friday, of course, is flipping through different books that have come in the mail, as well as going through different fun mediums that may have come in the mail. Also, I have a whole bunch of different books that I haven't had a chance to do flip throughs of. Some are PDF and some aren't. So I will be doing flip throughs for them. I just haven't gotten to it yet, and I will get on that as soon as possible. And then, of course, we've got our Saturday color alongs. And, Saturday color alongs will be every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. So I do believe Eastern, that is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So for all of you wonderful people out there that are joining me in the Eastern Standard Time, that is 1 o'clock in the afternoon for you. And then once in a while, I'm going to have something called Special Sunday. And Special Sunday is when we have different special things happen. So if you see a Special Sunday coming up on your reminders and your notifications, make sure you watch that one, because that one's got something cool going on. But so we've done sunflowers and we've done the most of the hat, and I will continue this on Work in Progress Wednesday. I hope you will join me to continue that on Work in Progress Wednesday. If I can't put it up as a live stream, that will be a live stream, and that will be done in the evening on Wednesday. So I will start that at approximately 4 or 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which will be 7 or 8 o'clock on the Eastern Standard Time. I think that's what the plan is so far, because there are a couple of people that sometimes want to join me, and they got a new job, so they have to work those nights. And if they want to join me, it may be a little bit later. If they don't, it may be a little bit earlier. So does anybody have anything that they want to see or anything like that? Oh, okay, Tracy, I didn't see that. So you're doing the fairy story by Tabitha Barnett. Cool. I hope you do a flip through of that. If you can do a little video and put it up on your Facebook page, that'd be great, because I haven't seen that one yet. And I don't know why I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen it colored anyway. What I'm doing for the neighbor's child is the Peter Rabbit. Cool. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm going to finish up that Peter Rabbit book for the neighbor's child, and once I'm done it, I will do a video flip through of it for everybody to see. Because doing one page at a time when you're coloring like a 13-page book or a 14-page book, it's redundant. And I haven't done all the backgrounds on them yet. I did finish one from last weekend's Saturday color along, but I haven't finished the background, so I want some suggestions. What do you guys think I should do with the background with this? Anybody? I'll give you a couple of seconds to type, I guess. I was just thinking of doing... Thank you, Tracy. I just can't figure out the background on it. I'm not sure if I just want to do it blue and do little pink clouds through it, or if I want to do it with the pinks and the oranges and the yellows, like a Aurora Borealis type thing. Or that one would be hard for me because I've only done it once or twice and I messed it up both times. Just considering maybe doing it blue with the dark gray clouds coming in, just like, in the fall. Decisions, exactly. There's so many things that I could do with it, and so many things that it would take so much time. And I don't have a lot of time, it seems. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, is that she'll pop right out with that blue behind her. And maybe I'll take a bit of sparkle dust and just outline her with it. With the what are they called? Yeah, I'll do it blue. And I've got those of course I've got to pull them out because I can't. My brain is going, nope, I'm not going to tell you what it is. The Spectrum Noir sparkle pens. So I've got a clear one of that I might just go around her with, just to make it sparkle a little bit. My only problem with that is I am terrible at making sparkles shine. I could have the sparkliest colors and everything else, and I can't make them glisten whatsoever. Drives me crazy. Because I add all this glitter and all these pretty sparkly things, and I can't ever make it look sparkly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too, is the oranges and pinks and whatnot might just wash out. Like there's enough orange there already, and it'll just pull away from the color that I've got there. So I will do it in blue. It shall be blue. And I'm just going to do it in the circle, in the upper circle, I'm just going to extend it just outside of the leaf area, just so that it's not covering the whole page. But that is the work in progress. One of the work in progresses I've got done, and this is the other one, which I already posted. But I want to show you what I mean by I can't get glitter to shine. On those pictures I took, you couldn't see the fact that the entire thing, all of the blues and into the whites and that sort of thing, are all glittery. You can see that on this one. But I can't get glitter to shine for my life, so I add it and I make it look pretty for me. Yeah, I'll probably use pan pastels for that, and I'll use a fine brush for it, just so I can get into these smaller areas. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably do a darker blue in the band here and bring it into a lighter blue. I can do that on Work in Progress Wednesday if you like. And we'll do both, a little bit on each on Work in Progress Wednesday. And the reason why I tape this down is exactly this reason, because this page is smaller than the piece of cardstock that I was using to protect my color mat. So when I'm turning and twisting and everything else, to make sure that that color protector, the mat protector, is still going to protect the mat, I tape it down. I know it looks messy and whatnot, but coloring, that's another thing that just makes me a little strange, I guess. I don't care if my coloring space is pretty. Does that make me weird for YouTube? I just don't care. I color here. I don't, you know, I'm pretty sure that you all expect a coloring space, not a pinafore, you know. But that's just me, I guess. My space isn't pretty from what you guys can see, but it's functional, and that's, you know. Yeah, exactly. I'll show you all my pretty pictures. My coloring space, not so much. You know, I just don't find it necessary to cover my desk with stickers and things to make it look pretty. I just don't. So this is the closest to prettying my space that you'll see. Well, it's terrible, isn't it? But it's functional, and you know, I have never seen my coloring space as much of a mess as it has been for the past 4 weeks. Because I've got work in progress is going on, and I normally don't ever have a work in progress. I will sit and I will color something until it's done. So I've got different works in progress, and they're driving me crazy. And then I've got, of course, I can't put away all those pencils because I'm using them. So I've got one set of pencils that I'm using on this one out over here. The pencils that I'm using on this one are out over here. So I've got 2 different bags of pencils out, plus my Cali Arts. And my glitter pens, because I just showed them to you. And I am a very tidy person, very organized. And it's like, Yeah, exactly. If I walk away from a work in progress or a picture because I don't like the way it's turning out, I will never ever return to it. And the thing is that I love the way that they're turning out and I love working on them, but I have so many, and I was able to whittle them down. I got them down to this one and one more. I finished up the work in progress that I was working on in the Peter Rabbit. I just got to do the background on this one and finish this one. That is good enough for me. It'll eliminate quite a bit of mess off my desk, and I think that's one of the things that's getting to me is I don't like mess. I need elbow room. Yes, creative minds are messy. That is so very, very true. But OCD creative minds is pretty much what I have. But we will continue this, and I will leave the background for you. I won't finish it. I will resist the urge, and I will finish that on Work in Progress Wednesday. And I will do some work on this on Work in Progress Wednesday as well. Now, next Saturday is only the 21st, so we'll be able to do a stream then. On the 28th, I know a lot of people are doing different things for the holidays, and the 26th being Thanksgiving, the 28th may not be a good day to do a Saturday color along. What do you guys think? Should I cancel the Saturday color along for the 28th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving? Absolutely, Penny. If you want to color further than me, by all means, just send me a picture of it. So, oh, wonderful, Tracy. So I get to sing again? You missed it. It is Penny's birthday today, so I sang her happy birthday this morning. Oh, it's not that. You'll do it. It'll be fine. So if we do a Saturday color along next weekend, Tracy, I'm going to have to sing you happy birthday. So that's one vote for Saturday color along being here. What about everybody else? I've got 5 in here. And watch, Tracy's not going to show up next Saturday. Well, not next Saturday. Next Saturday we will be doing it. It's the 28th, which is 2 days after Thanksgiving. So next Saturday I'm going to be here whether or not you all are anyway. And I'll be singing, Tracy happy birthday whether she's here or not. All right, so the 28th we'll be here as well with bells on. Quite literally, I will dig out my bells. I know I have a set around here somewhere. And maybe we'll do a Christmas picture. Okay, great. So do you guys want to do some coloring? I'll do on Tips and Tricks Tuesday. I'll do a little bit of coloring on a grayscale. Do you want to finish that on Saturday? on the Saturday color along? Work on it? Because we can do that as well. You know, it doesn't have to be a fresh picture every Saturday. We can work on a previous one. Because I got those wonderful books in from Ruth Sanderson, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I think that's what we'll do is I'll start one of the grayscale pictures on Tips and Tricks Tuesday, just to show the way I do grayscale a little bit, and we will continue that on the Saturday color along. But it's been half an hour of just sitting here chatting with you, and I absolutely love it. And I could probably sit here all day because I absolutely love you guys. The people that come in and visit me and actually talk to me are wonderful. And the ones that don't talk to me are wonderful too. They're just quiet. And I know one of them, so she knows who I'm talking to. She's probably out there. She's playing animal something or other. She's playing video games. But I will let you all continue on with your wonderful day. And I will say thank you so much for joining me and sticking around. And hopefully I gave you some good pointers and showed you pretty pictures and did my job today. Until next Saturday, I do thank you so much. I hope you join me every day for the videos that I will be uploading. And of course, on Wednesday, I hope you join me for Work in Progress. We will be coloring this and finishing this on Work in Progress Wednesday. So I will probably start it at approximately 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 3 o'clock my time here in Pacific Standard Time. And that way it gives me a little bit more time to get a little bit done on both. Thank you so much for joining me. Every single one of you, I love you. I'm going to say goodbye for now and see you soon. You have a great rest of your day too, Tracy. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye, guys.